Excuse me. I'm sorry, Mrs.
What is he making?
A pile of mess. That's what he's making. You know,
Bradley.
actually food.
Grits, bro.
Bradley, what are you making, honey?
I'm gonna try to make a shepherd's pie.
Bro, just stick with grits.
He's making shepherd's fucking pie. He's making shepherd's.
That's what it says on the TikTok thing, whatever the video thing. It says an 8-step recipe is easy. I just needed to crack on. So I got a quarter lamb.
Baby, no.
I shaved
the
that
lamb
thing.
is cooked in the crock pot. We're not putting the potatoes. We have to boil the potatoes, mash them, and then bake them. This
is fucking way too complex. I'm just doing it by this recipe. We'll see if it goes and happens again. Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. God bless you, bro.
The first thing you want to do, Brad. The first thing you want to do, Brad, is you want to score the crust with a little mat.
You can't say the word score. He doesn't know what score means, Blake. He thinks he's thinking about football or rugby. Okay, let's get back to the conversation, please.
All right, so back to
style. Just don't talk over. Just don't talk over each other. Did someone new want to get in?
Yeah, I wanted to do. Well, I was going to resume.
I'll get in there.
Get into. Because I remember
something
about mass shootings being 4 or more, and I think that's like intellectually dishonest. Because, like, for example, if I'm in a street gang, and I know my ops are standing in front of this gas station, and I go do a drive-by, and 5 people get shot, people are still not going to call that a mass. If you could say technically it is, but no one's going to call that a mass shooting. Now, if a random guy walks into a Walmart and just starts shooting up the place because he's crazy in the head, that's a mass shooting. So I think just because something legally says 4 or more, we all know what really a mass shooting is compared to like gang activity.
Well, we have to define
drive-by shootings, DJ. Again, this is a lot of us have a 1990s view of like violence. That isn't as common as it used to be. And believe it or not, I get the legal definition, but the 3 or less is not as rampant as you think it is. And gang violence is tracked a little bit differently, and there's a ton of data on gang violence. But I know that we're trying to make the comparison between the drive-bys and the school shootings. And again, I address that there is a narrative problem here, to be fair. Which is why we think it's all white males. But that drive-by narrative just isn't a thing anymore. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not like it used to be in the 90s. It's like rare, very rare.
Detroit's way more calm. But do you guys want to, like, just for sake of argument, define mass shootings in a very specific way? Then we can all be on the same page with each other.
A mass shooting is defined as 4 or more people being shot at one time.
So let's stick with that. We stick with that. All right. For simplicity's sake, thank you, Marshall.
Yeah, okay. And that's regardless.
There's another term that we could add in. I think technically, is it a catastrophe in this case?
But I think anybody being shot is catastrophe.
Obvious.
Two or more deaths define catastrophe.
Sure. But my thing is this: to DJ's point, is 4 or 5 people. The death is the death. But like how the death is the death. But like how they died or for whatever reason they died should not matter.
Yeah, let's stick with the basic.
They were killed. So I don't like playing the semantics game respectfully, saying, "Oh well, he did it because of this X, Y, Z," but this guy did it because he was running away from the ops. He was trying to deal with the ops. So I'm just like, they murdered niggas, and that's all that matters. But that's just
Thomas, the
context does matter,
right? Because how you deal with it is going to differ. This is why cities that are doing a good job of dealing with violence are finally able to deal with it, because they look at the underlying issue instead of we're just going to be aggressive and just be aggressive for the aggressive sake, right? That's not how you deal with crime. You're going to deal with the school shooting incidents, which we're really not dealing with, differently than the gang violence, because gang violence, you can look at the underlying issues to stem that and slow it down. I mean, you'll probably never stop it, but to slow it down.
But to that point, Mr. Finley, as someone pointed out to chat. Hold on just 1 minute, please. I'll just be brief. You know, are we discussing mass shootings in general, and specifically in this case, school mass shootings? Because the remedy and the prevention of it does have some different variables. So which one is it, gentlemen?
I thought we were specifically talking about school shootings, but
all right, let's stick with that. Let's stick with that for simplicity's sake.
I mean, school mass shootings specifically.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I mean, at the end
let's
of the
stick
day,
to school because it's in the title.
well, I'll put it
If
like
I
this: they're
can
all
like
fucking
help
crazy.
shed
Yo.
some light on like this situation to like help y'all out.
Oh, help us out, brother. Go ahead.
I actually live in Minnesota and I actually work with the BCA, and I've been working on this case. I was on vacation for 10 days, so I like just hopped on it within the past 2 days. To give y'all some information, I would actually really consider this more of like a terrorist attack. This is something that's been going on that for whatever reason the news has not been like specifically telling people is related to these online groups or these terrorist organizations. This one specifically, I would just relate it to the NVE group. They're called the Nihilistic Violent Extremists, heavily related to a group called Terrorgram. So if anybody remembers the shooting that happened December of last year, the girl's name was Natalie Samantha Rupnaw. Her name was on the gun. A lot of these things like that you wouldn't think are related are heavily related, and it's all like terrorist activity. So there's basically these online groups. They vary in age, and they're
Wait, can you hold on a second, sir? So I'm from Minnesota myself as well. I'm up by Two Harbors.
Okay.
So, first, right, I don't know what ERR means on the crockpot thingy, so, like, this is all fucking done. I give up. Secondly... Error! But, what is this guy? You're the, whatever, saint, whatever, SMT, whatever. Do you have proof of this? Do you have, like, some evidence of this? Because this is the first I'm hearing about this, because I've never heard of an online terror troll farm that's recruiting people across the nation to commit school attacks. Like, that's just... that seems like something that would have been released by the FBI, or at least schools would have been made aware of, and parents would have been made aware of. I'm sorry. It's
no, Terrorgram. Do your kids have roadblocks? You should be concerned.
I can definitely. I can.
Terrorgram is a real thing. It did it. So I see it in the news and stuff.
Because this is the first I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
I think it's basically it's a collective of different terrorist groups. Groups that are like anything from like accelerationist neo-Nazis to just sick fucks that glorify mass shootings and shit. And they do weird things, like they'll have like shrines for the people that have done these mass shootings. It's just I don't actually participate in those places, obviously, but it does exist.
Thank you. Thank you, Pete. SNT, can you elaborate a little bit more on what he said too? Because, like, again, I'm not trying to draw anything. I'm not trying to make a mockery of anybody. I have ignorance on this. I am completely ignorant to this facet of this conversation.
Terrorgram as IMC is actually is very.
Can I let SNT go, Meg? You can go right after him, but can we let him go? Because I really want to hear this. And since he brought it up, I heard what Pete said. And I value what Pete said. I just want to hear what SNT has to contribute.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are ignorant. That's the only reason I came in here. I know that I was ignorant to this, so I'm just trying to like lay out the facts so people aren't ignorant, because it's actually a big deal.
Do you have sources like we can post? Because KK's got spirit fingers and a hat, but I don't know if she knows.
So once I finish talking, like I'll gladly post like some links off of research that I've done that I'm allowed to like post in the chat for you.
Thank you.
So basically, I'll say like with us specifically, we have had a string of what's known as swatting calls. So they're basically like fake 911 calls that come in, and these groups basically are inciting each other to get points on a leaderboard. They gamify this. So it actually gets into like what Pepe said, like neo-Nazism, accelerationism, where they have these concepts that basically the white race is in peril and they're doing what they have to do, and they want to overthrow the government and basically insert a new world order, in which case they are secure.
Can we also toss in Scientologists in that mix just because?
So, another important aspect of this is, I would say, like, the children. For whatever reason, a lot of these groups are actually, like, kind of obsessed with it. A lot of them are pedophiles. A lot of them actually specific. So this group, Telegram, is under another group. It's like an umbrella. It's called the 764 Network. That's, like, specifically really well known for basically having children take videos of sexual acts of themselves and then blackmailing them to get them to do various acts, whether it's acts like these where they harm other people, acts where they harm animals, acts where they harm themselves. And they radicalize these kids into these people that you're, like, seeing today. You know, these mass shooters. So...
Damn, man.
Back to the swatting calls.
Shit. Holy fuck.
So back to the swatting calls. So it starts with swatting calls, fake 911 calls. They're starting to get these points on this leaderboard, right? You get more points the crazier things you do. So I'll say it's not 1,000% sure, but there was a shooting in Minnesota on Lake and Stevens Street in Minneapolis, in which case 2 men were shot, but there was no suspect. It's possible that that woman was related. Then that was on the 23rd. On the 26th, the day before yesterday, there was a shooting at 3300. I can't think of the street name, but there was a shooting at 3300 something right outside of another Catholic school, in which case 7 people were shot and I believe 1 was killed. It's heavily possible that that one is related. So I'm kind of pointing out, like, how things are progressing because they're getting more points on the leaderboard in these groups, right?
Should we add in kids doing like car theft as one of the examples? Basically getting kids to be recruited into doing part of these acts.
Yeah, car theft and, like, just severe beatings or, like, animal cruelty. I mean, those are other examples. So anyways, on the 27th now, we get to the shooting, in which case 20 people are injured, 2 are killed, or 17, I apologize. And this person could have killed more people. Obviously, like, they only used 2 magazines out of, like, the 5 to 7 that they had. They also had 3 pistol magazines, and they had a shotgun, from my understanding, that was not used. And then they got away. Actually, to be specific, yesterday, they did get away. But instead of driving off, they stayed there, walked around in a park, and then killed themselves. When they do these bigger acts, this is where you get into, like, the Satanist ideology of it. They consider themselves, they call them a saint. They anoint them, quote unquote, as a saint. And that's why Samantha Rucknow is, like, a great example of that, where she references somebody in, like, Turkey who killed a few people at a gay bar as a saint, because in these groups, whenever they want, like, notoriety, some strange reason, doesn't quite make sense with the nihilistic point of view, but they want notoriety, they get clout, quote unquote, and they become these saints. So the higher you get on the leaderboard, the more people you kill, the higher chances of you becoming the saint in the group. So I'll kind of leave it at that. I just think it's important to, like, note, because for whatever reason, like I said, they don't share, like, a lot of these cases are heavily connected, and it's not really hard to, like, I guess, find that from just, like, reading. But it's important to note that these are, like, terrorists, like, real terrorists.
This is fascinating. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, this is absolutely fascinating because
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, no, this is crazy, and if this is happening, I just could imagine foreign governments leveraging, this is a new kind of troll farm. If you really think about it, we have a similar thing, this whole vigilante thing going on here in Calgary, where the gangs are getting little kids to one kid got picked up in a van with no windows, and their friends followed him around and they brought the cops in and they arrested the guy. So this kind of vigilante, for whatever cause, whatever reason, going out of your way doing